We will get a plate up stream if and when baseball finally breaks my heart, which is really the perfect transition to more franchise mode, isn't it? Which, up until last night, I was happy. I was overjoyed. We were doing great. And then we got jebaited. We got jebaited harder than anyone hath ever been jebaited. Again, there it is. That's the image from last night. That's all you need to know. How did last night go, Toogie? There you go. That's how last night went. Fucking Scott Duff. But we are ready to go for another season with a brand new scouting department. Yay. Brand new scouting department, of course, that we brought on at the end of last season. As always, want to just kind of go over what our roster is going to be to start the year. Catcher-wise, Austin Walls, Ronaldo Hernandez, we're still looking good. We do have, Duff was fully scouted. 100% scouted. Yeah, it was just one of those, like, well, we got boned by our scouts just being wrong type of place. At catcher, I don't really know if there's anybody that we need. Right? Like, Eric Blank is probably going to be a solid enough catcher. And then Lee Kincaid's there as well. So the only way, really, we don't need a catcher. We're fine. Unless we can get, like, an elite catcher. But you got to remember, we're going to have as low of a draft pick as we have ever had since we started this franchise mode. Yeah, what's going on? We're in an interesting time with this franchise, is the best way to put it. First base-wise, we still have Tristan Casas. He'll need a big contract at the end of next year. But all in all, we're looking okay. And again, Tomatis, he's down in the, with the Woo Sox, so that we can have Jesus Villafuerte from the Rule 5 draft. So we're looking pretty good at first base. Second base, this dude was a random free agent, and we gladly picked him up. So second base, we're looking pretty damn good too. I mean, again, Nick York's overall isn't the strongest, but he plays better than he looks. Still have David Chen at third base. Couple of guys in the system that are a bit hit or miss. That's probably the biggest need right now is third base, because I'm hoping to get rid of Nolan Jones to have David Chen be the primary. Shortstop wise, Marcelo Meyer, who's only 26, so we got nothing to worry about there. I mean, probably could use another project, but it's fine. In left, Kevin Simmons. He's still there, but he's in AAA for one more season. Down the middle, Duran and Rafaela are on the team, and so Joe, it's a combination. It's not a full draft of glory. It's a bit of a mix, but emphasis on the draft. I probably will end up doing a full draft of glory at some point, though. Oh, goodness. And then in right, DeLauder, Blay. Hubert's going to be down in AAA. At least to start the season, until I can move like Duran or Rafaela off the team. So, Scott Duff. Oh, Mickey Moniak over Scott Duff. No question. No question. Duff was third overall. Third overall. For our starters, I hate to say it, but man, Roger Rodriguez might have capped out at an 85. But Bob Asensio has made the majors. Again, he was the piece that we got back for Rafael Devers. Antoine Hubbard, also in the majors, and Jimmy Denton should be here by next year. He was our first ever first-round pick. Bullpen is okay. Not elite, but okay. And again, we also picked up Edgar Pinheiro as a free agent, with Doug Brown also in the system. So, man, we're looking pretty good. I would guess that we're going to be a playoff team for the second year in a row. Can't say with certainty. Top prospects. Vincent Ahn of the Oakland Athletics is once again the top prospect in baseball. We did trade Devers. It broke my heart, but he wasn't really a part of the kind of winning window for us. I'll go back to the prospects in a minute. I believe he is still on the Angels. He is. He's 32 now. we are just starting to kind of be a team that can make the playoffs. You could argue it'd be nice to have him. We wouldn't have the prospect pool that we do if he was still on the team because he's too good. So that was the sacrifice. But yeah, On is still there. You got Alexis Blanco. Literally, it was Soul Controller in chat last night who said, take Todd Kelly in like the 3rd round, and I didn't listen. And now he's the 3rd best prospect in baseball. But Hubert McDonald is 5th, Doug Brown and Pinero 7th and 8th. Not too bad. And obviously you can tell by the really younger guys, Preston Hitchcock, you know, the 18-year-olds that were in last year's draft. So, like Brayman was in that last draft. We also have Bob Asensio. He's still number 15 on the list. He won't be for long since he's in the majors. We also have Abraham Baez. So we have a lot of representation inside the top 30 and really top 28. Vincent Scruggs at 28. So White Sox with a couple of options. We're looking pretty good, though. We are looking pretty good. So this upcoming draft, it's just try to find the best player available. But we don't know how far down the order we're going to be. Listed as 18th, though, in terms of ranking. That's the best we've ever been. Let's see what happens. Let's see who's out there. We do not know where we're going to be picking. Duff's potential was a 71. 71. So the question. Third base is really the only thing that we need. Oh, what do we do? Congratulations, AJ, is my only response. Given that we don't need anybody specifically, it's a weird spot to be in for this draft. It really is. Again, third base is probably the biggest need. We'll focus on that. That was really the only position that I describe as having the biggest need. I mean, you could also say center field still. But we will start off with the third baseman. Left field, we got a guy. We're good. Simmons is there. All right, how are we going to do in our first full week? Not so hot. We get a trade offer already. It's Andreas Lawrence for a first baseman. Absolutely not. Not who I was hoping to see for a trade offer there. Not overly impressed with Keith Hook. Welsh and Plaza do look a little bit better. What else do we have for third baseman? Warren Logan. Warren Logan. Let's find out if you're going to be any good. Actually, let's at least get everybody down to like a base level. If we're going to scout this many third basemen, let's look at... There's a shitload of third basemen in this draft, too. We're going to have to figure out how aggressive we want to be. I don't want to sit here and just scout third baseman, but I might have to. Am I ready to get hurt again? Would I be playing this game if I wasn't? Castro for Hernandez, that's a no. That's a no. 6 and 9 to start the season. Love to see it. Well, initial scouting report for these guys, not particularly strong. Not particularly strong. Earl Laird. Not enough Earls nowadays. Honestly, even Bobby Armas. Let's look at him. We might be able to find a steal. It's our biggest position of need. If there's going to be a steal there, we might as well get him, and we can best guess the rest of the draft. That's going to be a no for Brian Bayo. All right. So only $6 million in bonus allotment as well. Is pretty low. And so far, again, pick number 23 to kick it off. I am not exactly loving life for third baseman. Are there too many players to look at everybody? I'm going to say no, and we're going to go for it. We're going to look to get a third baseman in that first round. We'll hope for the best. We still, have over 2 months until the draft. That was a very successful week. Still dead last in the division, though. Again, none of these guys looking like they'd be that big old steal. Johnny Gerber. Well, Johnny Gerber in there. Brett McCarthy. And let's look at Paul Gonzalez. One of you has to be half decent, right? Right? All right, we did get a trade for Grant Harris, who was that very, very mid left fielder. And it's for Perez. What's the sleep schedule? Don't ask me. Yeah. They want to take a shot on Grant Harris and give us a half-decent reliever, at least in terms of overall. That is an absolute yes. So thank you very much, Washington, for improving my bullpen. Very kind of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So John Schreiber, who was in free fall. He's in free fall ratings-wise. He has been phenomenal so far. How has Durbin Feltman been doing? Not so hot. Is my guess. He's been okay too. I do have to send somebody down. Shout out to that song. Don't want it at the moment though. Give me something I do want to listen to. There we go. When in doubt. When in doubt. When in doubt. Simmons up to 8 potential. It's not relevant to me right now, but you're correct. But it's still not relevant to me right now. I expect him to be good regardless. He's a 90 instead of an 89. Like, cool, but have you thought about what reliever I'm going to send down? I could technically send down Perez. Oh, I don't know who to send down. Do I send down an extra position player? Could be Valdez. Let's send down Valdez. He'll be on waivers, but it's okay. All right. Come on, decent third baseman. Nope. I mean, maybe Paul Gonzalez will take a further look at, but my guess is that his rating is going to be absolutely abysmal. Hence why I'm not overly interested. Andreas Armas. I'm just going to look at third baseman, man. I don't even care. I don't even care. If there's a steal here, we're going to find him, damn it. If there is a projected steal, we're going to find him. I don't even care. Just drove through your state today. I'm way home from Florida. Gotta be able to pump gas. Frozen. It was a cold day in Maine. Snowing. Beautiful. Austin Wells for Brady House. Well, that might solve the third base problems. Oh, man, he's been good this season, too. 866 OPS. If we take this, we're probably going to adjust it. Well, then again, we have Eric Blank at catcher. Oh, God. If I take this deal, number one, Austin Wells is not playing that Wells at the moment. Austin Wells has been abysmal at the plate. I'm going to take this. Brady House for Austin Wells. No problem. I guess we will start scouting catchers. That was not a part of the plan, but here we are. Let's get Chavez up to the majors. Eric Blank in triple. We'll get Ullman in double. And then third base-wise, honestly, let's go shortstop instead and send down Lugo. Put James Nunn in double, and that'll be fine. So we've been able to make some pretty efficient trades. Yeah, third base-wise, in terms of scouting, not ranks. Don't recommend it. So if we were to go for a third baseman, it would be Noah Plaza or Charles Welsh. That's about it. No one else was looking all that great. We could fully scout those guys. If we do look at catchers, this looks like a terrible draft for catchers. But again, we picked 23rd. I got to make a decision. Warrior, what's going on? I got to make a decision now. Starting pitching, we're good. We still got a couple of people in the system. We're okay. I do still think, given that draft pick, I'm gonna look at relievers. I'm gonna look at relievers moving forward. I'm not as worried about catcher because Eric Blank is in the system. Let's start looking at relievers the rest of the way. I think that's the best way for us to go. Especially because those top relievers might still be on the board for us. Because they normally start to go in the second round. Apparently not a great year for closers, so let's see what we can do. We still have essentially 2 months until the draft as well, so. All right. Again, let's get base info, at least, closing in on 50% for these guys. Obviously, Mackenzie Ness we're going to want to take a look at as well. Richie Jack. Isaiah Brecken? Breachin. Brechin. Breckin. Brechin. 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 Isaiah. Look at you. And Barton Granger. Great name. Barton Granger. Tigers. Dingler. Yeah, we don't want the 30-year-old catcher for Vince Scruggs. Thank you. I'll take my chances on a potential 63 overall Vince Scruggs. Shout out to Dingler, though. Great name. All right. Some of these closers will still be worth looking at. In terms of outright relievers, there's Maurice Cox. Nobody else that's projected in the first round, but we can take a further look. Let's look at all those who are projected inside the top 40. We're going to go pretty heavy on relievers this year. Let's do it. Let's do it. Tigers, Johnny McMahon for, how old's Luis Renfigo at this point? 32. Yeah, no thank you. Even if Renfigo's good. Honestly, maybe I should have taken that. I think it just said Renfigo was an 84. I actually should have explored that. Not looking too good. Nothing overly elite there. Cito Hinojo. Might be Saito. All right, we do definitely start kind of going down the list there. Do we keep looking at relievers? I highly doubt any of these starters fall down the board. This looks like a starter-heavy draft. What round is it? 10 of 14. We're in a weird spot here. Sox, you're probably not, but you're probably the only one that cares. This is a tough call. Again, we have a really good catcher already. Do we keep looking at relievers? Do we switch to starters, catchers? Like looking at the best available, the top recommended? It's not like we can trade up or anything. I just don't know if it's worth scouting the best of the best, given that it's, the 23rd overall pick. Like, presumably Damon Ray is going to be gone very, very early. Let's keep looking at relievers, I think. It's a weird spot to be in right now. Anybody else is projected to go like 50th? BJ Hampton. And a couple other guys. We'll look inside the top 50. Cardinals. Okay, that's an interesting one. Nolan Jones for Ivan Herrera. I mean, Herrera would certainly help as a short-term starting catcher. And we were hoping to get rid of Nolan Jones anyway, especially now that we have Brady House and David Chen. That's a no-brainer. That is a no-brainer. We're going to pick up Ivan Herrera. Done deal. Done deal. Easy deal to make. It allows us to send Chavez back to AAA, where Blank is hurt. And we're looking decent aside from that. Call Sogard back up just to be a depth option. A lot of trade offers this year, man. A lot of trade offers. Surprising. We are still 27 days out from the drafts. Unfortunately, none of these relievers are looking like steals. What is the best way to go about this? What is the best way? Maybe we do some generalized scouting at this point. Honestly, I think that might be the best way to go. Just kind of do some generalized scouting. Get a little bit of info on everybody. Again, first base is not a huge need. And I highly doubt Damon Ray is available later on. Let's double check something really quickly. Again, if we were to go for a catcher, it would need to be an A potential guy to be better than who we already have. First base, it's Casas. I mean, you could argue getting, future-proofed at first base isn't a bad way to go. Second base, we have Baez. We're fine. Third base, now we have Brady House there, David Chen. We're fine. Shortstop, Myers, only 26. Left, Kevin Simmons. Center field on its own, thanks to Duff, is still probably the big need, even though the thought is someone moves over. I don't know if I want to edit positions to move somebody over, but that is the thought. We certainly don't need a righty. Starters, it would only be worth it if you're going to find someone who's slipped in terms of rating. Honestly, reliever-wise, we're looking decent, too. Let's look at first baseman. Didn't think we'd go this direction. Let's look at first baseman. Just get some generalized scouting at first. Again, it's a position that we could future-proof. The Rockies offer us veteran reliever Cody Whitley for Jarren Duran. Duran's been okay. Not nearly as hot as he was in a limited sample size last year. Last year of his deal, he's got an arbitration year left, but obviously we have some depth in the middle at this point. No one's amazing. I'm going to take that. Let's look to improve the bullpen again. We know the outfield's relatively strong. And that, between the Whitley deal. Shout out to Cod for the 8 months. What's going on? And between Perez and Whitley. Sorry, it just caught me at an interesting time where it's like, hey, we made trades. You could argue it's not worth it, given that we're 8 games under 500, but hey. You never know what year you're in. It is 2029. 2 prospects scouted, 10 prospects scouted, 5 prospects scouted. All right, let's go international for first base. And let's see how effective that was. It was pretty effective. Again, generalized info on a couple of dudes, which is good. Internationals obviously coming up. Because that worked out well for us, let's go center field. Center field west, center field central. Now is a great time to get back into generalized scouting. Mr. Sam Besser, good to see you. How the heck are you? All right, hopefully we didn't start this scouting path too late. But I do think this is going to work out pretty well. So we need center field east, center field international, and then gold. We can have that move up. Let's see, playing some of my Rockies franchise. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I think relievers, we have a good idea. I mean, we could look for more interest. Relievers, we do have a good idea. Okay. Do we do generalized? We only have 2 weeks left. I don't think we have time to start looking at starters. There's no way Damon Ray is going to be available. There's just no way. I doubt even Felipe Castilla is available, but at least it'd be nice to have a little bit more information on him. Honestly, I can't even go after Damon Ray. His bonus demand's going to be too high. Let's look at Felipe Castilla. Let's look at him. Mozone, how the heck are you? Good to see you as well. I have... That was painful. The Angels offer us Cody Hose. No, for Vince Scruggs. Maybe Rafael Devers for Vince Scruggs if you'd like to trade him back. All right, this is our final scouting session before the draft. Castilla's not looking that bad, but he's not looking amazing. Oh, what are we going to do? What do you think of Adley Rushman's game today? It's just nothing but, hey, Red Sox fan, did you see your team get fucking pumped today? I did. Thanks. It was fun, wasn't it? Just fun. In all seriousness, though, I'm happy for Orioles fans. Like, it's kind of sad when a team that's struggled for a long time gets a good prospect and they just don't pan out. So I'm happy for Orioles fans. Wish it wasn't at my team's expense today, but I am happy. All right, back over to first baseman. I mean, we don't have that much info. It might be worth taking a look at Bruce Raymond. Another first-round projected guy. And then in center... Okay, let's look at Ronald Adino. We will look at Ronnie. We will look at Nicholas Levitt. And first baseman Bruce Raymond. For our final bit of scouting. So we are going to head into this draft with a god-awful record. The Brewers make a deal. Alexis De Silva for not too much. Horace Lawson's the big piece there. But we've made a lot of trades. And now is the time where we look... You know what? We got to look at the baseball devil at this point. What's going on, Pete Rose? Gotta start praying to the baseball devil for a good draft pick at this point. Fuck.